Hello, everyone, and welcome and happy spring. So, since it is spring, I'm thinking about flowers, and as a matter of fact, the flowers are starting to pop up in my yard where I live in the eastern part of Massachusetts. The crocuses are blooming, and the tulip leaves are above ground, so it's not going to be very long before they start to bloom. So, which makes me very happy. I love seeing the spring flowers to bring some color back into the landscape. So, I thought that flowers were a very fitting theme for the card I want to share with you today. So, I'm going to show that to you. So, it's let me do it. Oh, I always get this wrong. My sense is that I want to put it this way, but it needs to go that way. See, I'm always turning it the wrong way. This is a flap card. Oh, sorry, a flap card. So this is how it opens. It doesn't, there's no other opening. This is just it's a piece of cardstock that is the base, and the way you open it is this way. So it's just a little flap card. And it's actually really pretty easy to put together. And I used let me go here. Again, I'm going in the wrong direction. The daisy punch, the medium daisy punch. And then some dies from the Forever Fern dies, I forget what the actual dies are called. It's no longer a bundle, but the Forever Fern stamp set and dies. So that's what we're going to cover today. So actually, I'm going to go ahead and flip the camera so that we can get started. So here's another view of the card. So what I've done is used Sweet Sorbet is the card base. Petal Pink is the layer. Petal Pink is also the what I used to punch the daisies. I used some basic white cardstock for some of the leaves. I also used some gold foil for some of the leaves, and some Sweet Sorbet for, I don't know if you can see, I have some leaves here that are from the Irresistible Blooms bundle. I have two up here, two down there. They kind of blend with the paper, and which brings me, this is this Designer Series paper is from Regency Park. Lots and lots of patterns in that one. I'll show you what I got. So I've already cut up so much of this paper. This is not the one we're going to be, is it? No, yeah, I guess it is. So there's blue, there's crushed curry, there's mango melody, there's pale papaya, night of navy. I mean, there's tons. And the patterns, you can see there's lots of patterns, colors. It's just a really nice paper pack, and I didn't appreciate it at first when it came out in the mini catalog until I participated in a card challenge, and I made a card with it, and I received some sample pieces, and I made my card, and I fell in love with it, and I ended up buying a whole pack myself. And so that's what we're going to be using today. So I'm going to go ahead and get started and show you the pieces that you'll need to put this together, along with some modifications, because the card that I made used I embossed this layer using the, let's see, here it is, the Basics 3D embossing folders that came out as part of the online exclusive. But these are there's 3 of them, right? You get 3 embossing folders. All 3 are so pretty, and that's what I use to emboss this, but they're on back order until May 1st. So I was checking the inventory list on the demo website, and it said they're on back order. So we're going to use a different embossing folder, and I'll show you what that is. And then the leaves that I use, the one I used from the Irresistible Blooms, that is also on back order. So you know what? We won't use those. Well, if you already have them, I did die cut them. I'll still use them. But if you don't have them, don't worry about it, because there are so many other leaves, as you can see, that it's not going to be the end of the world if you don't have them. So, all right, I'll just put this aside and I'll show you. So we'll get started. So the card base is simple. You just cut a piece of Sweet Sorbet, or actually any color. If you want to choose a different pattern of paper or a different color paper from the paper pack, from the Designer Series paper pack, then go ahead and do that. But I'm just going to use the colors that I did for this one, for the sake of making it easy. So this one is Sweet Sorbet, cut at 5.5 by 4 1/4. That's it. That's the card base. And then the next layer, which is this layer, Petal Pink, cut at 5 1/4 by 4. Now what I did, I chose to change the embossing folder from the Flower Star embossing folder, part of the Basics 3D ones, and instead I'm using the Pretty Flowers embossing folder. I like this one a lot. You could probably also use the Time Worn. I like the Time Worn embossing folder. It's so pretty, but since this is a flower themed card, I just wanted to keep with the flowers, and so that's why I decided to use the Pretty Flowers embossing folder. So I went ahead and I already embossed it. And then for the flap part of it, you're going to need a piece of Sweet Sorbet cut at 8.5, so it'll be 8.5 inches long by 2 3/4 wide, and then you're going to score it at 4 1/4. Right, so then you're going to have this. You'll fold it and burnish it, and once we start tacking it down, hold on, let me just get that. So once we start tacking it down, you'll take this folded piece, and all you're going to do is just adhere it right onto the card layer so that you can then flap it up. So this bottom part will be tacked down to the front. So that's how we're going to do it. Then you'll need a piece of Designer Series paper. And again, I said this is from the Regency Park DSP. And it's got Sweet Sorbet in the background. And it's cut at 4 inches by 2.5. And I just said front because meaning the front of the front of this piece. So it fits nicely. And you'll put it kind of like over there. That piece. And you'll also, for the sentiment label, we're going to use the stitched rectangles dies. Let me see. Do I have them here somewhere? I did. Oh yeah, here they are. So I have the stitched rectangles, and let me take it out of the packet. And you're going to use the second smallest. So it's going to be this. Let me see if I can pop it up. The second smallest one. This piece. And it fits nicely. So that's the one you're going to use. pretty easy, right? Second smallest one. I already die cut it, so we don't need to do that. So you'll have your, and this is out of Petal Pink. So that'll be our label. And then for the center of the label, the part that we're going to stamp, and it'll fit right into the center, that's going to be just a piece of basic white cut at 2.5 inches by 1 1/4. And it just fits perfectly right in the center. Then this is optional. If you want, you can also cut 2 tiny strips of the design, the same designer series paper, and cut them at 2.5 inches long by just 1/4 inch wide. So they're very skinny strips. And the reason is that you can put them on the inside of the card just for, you know, to decorate it a little bit more. So there's that. You can do that. I chose to, but, you know, if you don't want to, you don't have to. All right, I'm going to move those out of the way. You can also cut 2 pieces of basic white for the inside of the flap. And you can cut them at 3 3/4 by 2 1/4. And one will go there and one will go there. And then you'll just put your strips on like that if you want to. Oh, I think cut it. I cut it too wide. I'll have to trim that. Now, for this card, my sample card, I chose to put Petal Pink on the inside instead of white. Now you can do that as well. But for this one, I chose white. And then we have some daisies. I punched out 4 daisies with the medium punch, the medium daisy punch from the catalog, the annual catalog, the 2022 to 2023 annual catalog. So I cut 4, and when we go to tack them together, you'll just mount them, with the petals in between each other so that it makes it a little bit fuller. All right, we'll do that in a minute. So we have those. All right. And we also will cut, hold on, 4 stamens. Let me flip that over. For the center of the flowers, right? And we'll put them on like that because we're going to need 2 and 2. And this is what they look like. Makes it look very realistic. And I got those from the Poppy Moments dies. So this is the coordinating stamp set, the painted poppies. And these are the dies, the Poppy Moments dies. And then in there is this die, this little die right here. And then there's also, for a little bit larger, well, I can't pop it out right now. For a little bit larger flower, you could use that. And then this is like a half a one. Because the medium daisy is not very big, I'm using this. I decided to just use this one because the larger one was way too big. So if you have these dies, you'll need this stamen die, and you'll want to die cut 4. And I die cut them from Sweet Sorbet cardstock. I also used the, let's see, Forever Fern dies. I used this large one to cut some, I cut a couple of them from white cardstock, right? So I have those set aside. And then I used these little ones as well. These, these two little ones, they're matching. And I cut 4 of those from Sweet Sorbet. Oh, here's the 4th one. All right, so there's 4 of those from these 2 little ones. And you can just, you only really need to die cut one of these from the white. But I also used this same die to cut some gold foil that we'll cut up and put into the card as well. Okay. And then the leaves from the inspired blooms, I did die cut those, and we will use them, but again, if you don't have them, don't worry about it. It's not gonna be the end of the world. Okay. All right, so we can just move some of these aside, and we can get started with at least assembling the card. Now I'm just going to use some liquid glue, but you can use your adhesive of choice. But when I'm adhering an embossed layer, I prefer liquid glue, because I'm always afraid that whether it's tear and tape or whether it's stamp and seal, that it's not going to, some of the images are raised or inlaid, and I'm afraid it's not going to really adhere very well, and maybe it will in the beginning and then come apart. So I'm just using liquid glue, because the liquid glue will get down into all the crevices. Okay. So now I'm just putting down the embossed layer onto the card base. Okay, now I think I'm going to put the Designer Series paper onto the flat part of the card. Okay, and now we can put some adhesive on the back of the flap. And you're going to just line up the bottom and the top with the bottom and the top of the card base. Okay. All right. So let's see. I think what I'm going to do is put the flowers together. And what I did with the flowers was, instead of gluing them together, I used mini dimensionals. Oh, let me see. Where's my little poker? Okay. This is an old Stampin' Up! Paper piercer. If you have a take your pick tool, you can use that as well. Well, we're not going to need this yet. Hold on. I'm getting ahead of myself. All right. I'm just going to put 2 together. And by popping them up, they actually, it makes them look a little bit more three-dimensional. So I'm just going to put a mini dimensional on the back of one. Hold on. Okay. And then, like I said, what you want to do is lay the petals in between the petals on the other one on the bottom. Right? And then just press down and hold them together. Okay, now I'm just trying to see if I'm trying to remember. I think all I did was at that point was just glue it down. But what I want to do is just take your thumbnail and just run it along the petals and just curl them a little bit. Or you can use your scissors, whatever you prefer, just to curl them a little bit. So can you see they're a little bit curled? That's what you want. All right, let's do the other one. Okay. Okay, now, same thing, I'm just going to curl these a little bit. You know what, let me just peel this off a little bit. There we go. You know what, I need a new dimensional. Because I peeled it away. We're trying to reposition it, and then what happens is it doesn't stick the same way anymore, so I just had to put a new dimensional on it. That's all. Okay, let's try that again. I want to get it centered. Okay, that's better. Alrighty. Now I'm just going to put some liquid glue on the back and tack them down. And I'm going to put the other one, I'm going to just do it down a little bit, but kind of, you know, touching each other. Now, instead of liquid glue, you can also use glue dots if you prefer. That's a clean way of doing it. Okay. Now, let's see, where are my glue dots? This is where I need my little poker. So we can put the little stamens together with a little glue dot. No, actually I don't need that just yet because I can put it right onto the glue dot strip. So the glue dots are all along the strip, and you just have to put your little stamen right on top of the glue dot and then just peel it away and adhere it to another stamen in between the little, whatever they're called, the little things that stick out. Okay, and then what I did is I pulled them up just with your fingers, right? Just push them up like that. And I'm going to use another glue dot to adhere it to the flower. So using glue dots is kind of a nice way of adhering things without kind of any messy stuff or waiting for the glue to dry. Okay, And I'm going to push it up again only because pressing it down, I pressed down some of the stamen. Okay, we'll do the same thing with the other two. And put it together with the little stamen pieces in between each other as best you can. They don't line up exactly, but kind of. All right, now we put another glue, we go for another glue dot. And we'll push it up once we lay it down here. Put it in the center, and then just push up the little pieces, make them stand up. That's what makes it really look 3D. See how nice that looks? Makes it look so cute. Now, for the centers, I used Pearl Basic Jewels, and I used my Sweet Sorbet, Dark Sweet Sorbet Stampin' Blend to color them in. And you're only going to need 3. One of them for the sentiment label. Okay. We'll save the one for the sentiment label in a minute. Okay. And I'm going to start putting the leaves onto the back of them, just slide them into the back of the flower. Now again, if you don't have the Irresistible Blooms Stamp Set and Dies, don't even worry about it. If you do, great. If you don't, or maybe you have a different set of dies with leaves that you would prefer to use, you can do that too. I'm trying to get this in a way that it's not going to hang over the edge, so that it will still be able to fit into the envelope. Okay, we'll put these on the bottom on this side. And just one more. A little bit more. Okay. And then I think I'll put in some of the gold at this point. Let me see. Yes, I think I will. I just think the gold makes it stand out a little bit more. And then we'll put some white in there too. All right, let's see. I need another piece of gold. I'm gonna snip that, but then it leaves like a little straight edge. So all I do is I just kind of go in a little half circle so that it's not a straight edge after cutting it. All right, and I will put it at the opposite side like that. Oh, gotta see it, right? So I put one here and then one on the opposite side, and then the other two, the Sweet Sorbet, 2 of them here, 2 of them there. All right, and I have the white, and I don't want to put like a huge amount of white. Let's see, I don't need all of that. Maybe I will just take a little bit of white. Yeah, I think I'll just do a little bit of white. I don't want to overkill it. That's plenty. And now we'll put another piece on the bottom. I might do a second one too on the bottom. Let's see. And just tuck them anywhere, and they get, you know, they stay in place with just a little bit of liquid glue, and they stay right in place. Okay. I think I'll do one more for the bottom, but before I put the glue on it, let me see where I want it to go. Oh yeah, I think I do want it to go there. Let's see. Yeah. All right, so it's coming together, a little bit colorful. And now I will tuck in a few of these sweet sorbet, like the little ones. Now you can do this or not do this. It depends on whether or not you know, how much you want for your design. Some, you know, maybe you want it to be a little simpler and not too fussy. Let's see. I'm just, you know, I have no rhyme or reason to the way I'm putting these in. I'm just trying to decide for the design how I want them to go. I'll put that one there, right on top. Okay, that's the flowers. Now we can just do a little bit of stamping. And let's see, what do I want to put on the, I'm going to put under the framed florets. Let's see, is this going to, well, let's see, what do I have? Wishes for a beautiful birthday. Let me see if it fits. That might not fit. That might be too big. Oh yeah, I might just say celebrate. Oh, I need a block. Yeah, I'm going to keep it simple, and I'm going to use black ink only because I didn't bring my sweet sorbet ink out here. So I'll just do it in black. Ugh, not great, right? Not great. Let's try it again. Better. Much better. Now I'm going to just tack that down. Okay, let me set that aside. Now, adhering this to the card. Remember now, you're not going to just lay it, you're not going to put adhesive across the entire back, because this has to open, and if you did that, it would be tacked down and it would never open. So you only want to put a little bit of adhesive on the edge, because we're going to tuck it under here. Let me move these out of the way. Little petals, because you're going to just adhere it just on the edge like that, so that it will still open. Okay, so just on the very left edge, that's all. And then you want to just tuck it in underneath the flower and just press it down. And there you go. So now it will open and close properly. So we can also, let's see, we want to stamp, well, one of these we'll just go ahead and tack down because it's not going to have any sentiment on it. Oops. It's just going to be an additional place for you to write your sentiment. Okay. Now, this one, I am going to, this is where I think I'm going to put this one, this Wishes, this bigger one. Get a bigger block. And my black ink. I'm going to put it, I'll just put it in the middle. Lovely. And put some adhesive on the back. Now this is where we can put the strips if you want. Although, as you can see, I didn't measure this one properly. So let's see if I can do this before. There. And then this one, I think I did get them. Yeah, not sure what I was doing when I measured that one. Okay. I kind of like the look of it when you put a little bit of, you know, a little bit of color on the inside as well. And there we have it. I also want to show you some additional cards that I made with this same design. Let me get it. So with same, you know, Regency Park Designer Series paper. This one actually was with the Irresistible Blooms paper, which unfortunately is not available right now. So this is with the card base is Flirty Flamingo, and then the embossed layer is So Saffron. I love the colors on that one, right? And then the gold leaves look so pretty. And then I did use Flirty Flamingo ink, and on the inside as well. I love this one. So that's one. And then this one has Soft Succulent card stock, which is a fan favorite. Unfortunately, it's going to be retiring when the 2023 catalog comes out, and that's going to be so disappointing, but it's been around for 2 years. The daisy flowers I punched from the fine shimmer paper that's in the mini catalog. Oh my God, it's so pretty. You get gold and you get soft succulent. So pretty. And it ends up giving your card such pretty shimmer, right? Love that one. Okay, and then this one is Balmy Blue. This is also from the Regency Park Designer Series paper, and the leaves, the flower petals I punched from the silver foil paper that's in the annual catalog. And the black dots, these are, I forget what the name of it is, but we do have black, here they are, matte black dots. So that's what these are. And then the little foil leaves there, as well as white. So that's a nice one. So those are all of the cards that you can put together. Let me move these aside, and they all look so different, and yet they're all with the same exact design. And I want to thank you for sticking with me and watching. And I hope you enjoyed what I shared with you today. And if you did like what I shared, then please subscribe to my channel and click on the bell to be notified when I upload new content. So again, I want to say thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.